I'm Sherrie, urban farmer in the city of Detroit and member of the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network.
I'm Nayomi, also a farmer in Detroit. Today, we are continuing our tutorial series. In our previous set of videos, we addressed really the beginnings of how to start your garden at home. So we talked about soil, we talked about growing indoor versus outdoor, prepping the soil, even choosing what to plant.
Right.
So now we're going to continue that.
We're going to be doing some seeding today. We're also going to talk about spacing and thinning so that you can have success with your plants as they grow. So what I'm going to do right now is plant some lettuce seeds. And lettuce is an example of all the leafy greens that we like to have like full heads of, or like the big leaves, like your collards, turnips, things with big leaves. And so what we're going to do is make a little shallow row here. And I'm going to plant these about a foot apart because I want the full heads to grow. So they need a nice amount of space. So it's really shallow because these seeds are really little and light. And I put about 2 or 3 seeds in each area so that they can sprout up. And I'm just going to cover them lightly because the seeds are so small we don't have to bury these seeds really deep in the soil. Maybe about an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch kind of dust. The rose cut. So this time we're going to broadcast the lettuce seeds, which literally means we're going to just toss them around a wide area. And what that allows us to do is have a lot of seeds close together so we can make things like your baby salad mixes and mini greens like that are a little more tender if you don't want to get big heads of lettuce. And so with those, it's almost just like sprinkling seasoning. And so we'll just kind of sprinkle that around. And that's how we broadcast those. And usually when I broadcast, I just kind of cover lightly with the soil. You don't have to bury these deep. And that's broadcast lettuce seeds.
I'm going to demonstrate beets. And I'm going to make a line here. And we mentioned in a previous video the depth to plant your seeds. And it, long story short, really is relative to how big your seed is. So beets I would want to plant no deeper than 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch at the deepest is what I would plant a beet seed. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do a close seeding of beets. Do a lot of beet seed in a small area. And it's almost the same motion for me as like sprinkling salt or pepper on something. And a dense seeding of beets might be useful if you like small beets, which some people do. Your beets will come out to be a little more tender. Also, if you have older seed or if you have a lot of seed, so this seed that we have is a little bit older, so I would sow them like this. Just in case they all don't come up. It just depends on, I guess, how much time and space you have and how many beets you would like. So once I've done this, then we'll just cover it up. And our beets have been seeded with a close seeding. Next, I'll show what beets planted would look like if you don't want to come back and thin. Which means that I'm going to seed it in a way where the beet can get to full size, nice big beets. So that would look like about 4 to 6 inch spacing, and it's a little more precise. So if you have fewer seeds, or if you know for a fact you just want big beets, you don't want small beets in between, I would plant it at about this rate. And as you can see, the space between each seed means that there's enough space for each beet to get full size. And when we do this, again, your beets are sown. they'll be ready for harvest. Depending, full size will be about 50, 60 days. Smaller, somewhere in between. So we sprinkled all of our seeds. This is about a month later, or a little less. And they're coming up and they're really close together. So what we're going to do is a process called thinning, which is basically making more space for each beet so that it can be happier and make a nice big root. So we want them to be about 4 to 6 inches apart. So I'll leave one here, and then with thinning, you pull the whole plant out of the ground because you don't want it there anymore. So we'll pull it, and I'll leave this one, it's closer. And then what we can do when you do thin things, they're still edible. So these are like baby beets. What I like to do is you can put these in salad mixes, or you could even stir fry these if you have a lot of beets, but mostly good for salad. And they're still nice and edible. So you just want to thin in a way where when you imagine what a beet looks like that you would typically get, they're probably about golf ball size or bigger. Right. So you want to leave about that much space around each beet so it has the opportunity to grow. So I would continue that process all the way down.